Welcome. Thank you for being here. And today we are talking about something that has probably been the biggest struggle on my spiritual journey so far. You don't need to guess because it's in the title. We're talking about unconscious people, or people who just don't understand spirituality just yet. I like to think of them as people who are asleep to the connection that exists within them as their soul. These people have not yet woken up. And I mean that with no disrespect at all, because it was only just a short time ago that I was in their shoes and that I had no idea about the spiritual realm or true consciousness and everything that goes on around us. I was completely asleep to it all, and it is not their fault. That probably brings us to the first point, so let's just jump right into it. It is not their fault, and that's why I don't view what I'm saying as an insult to those people, because it's not that those people have made a choice. They're not conscious. They can't make a conscious decision. They're not sitting there wanting to be that way because they don't understand how conditioned they have been and how manipulated they've been in their lifetime and controlled. And that is the biggest thing that evokes frustration within me when I have to spend time around a lot of unconscious people. I'm just so frustrated that these people are unaware of the absolute truth and cannot change. But it just is simply not their fault. They have been conditioned their whole lives, as we all have. They have been put through a system from birth up until now for their entire lives, told what the nature of their reality is. Especially in the society that we live in today, it is just so out of touch with anything spiritual. We really don't have much connection with the world around us, with each other, with the animals, with the nature, with anything like we used to in the past. And obviously I'm referring predominantly to Western culture and the culture in which I live in. A lot of people don't have much exposure to it, and that is honestly just the first thing, is forgiving them. Forgive the people in your life who you know that are not yet woke. I never really know like what sort of terms to use, because I don't like using too generic terms, but you get what I mean if you know what I mean. So I just honestly, for me, I'm in a place where I'm really just learning to forgive those around me. And of course, pretty much the answer to everything when it comes to spirituality is love. All we can do is love those people and just love where they are at. Just spread love to them, and in turn you are helping them on their spiritual journey. Because I've come to understand it like this. I am a spiritual being. I am divine energy. I am literally the universe. And I now have consciousness, which gives me the power to control and interfere with the thoughts of my ego and my mind, and have a bit of choice over the vibe that I am projecting, or the thoughts that are going through my head, or the state that I'm in. So now that I am awake to these things, and I can start to have some control over my mindset and radiate positivity and love and good vibrations, why not just radiate the best vibrations and energy that you can around those people? And in turn, they'll realize how happy you are and how much joy you're feeling and what's going on. And people start to ask you things genuinely. Like, if you're in a good state all the time and you just give off the best vibes, even if they're not conscious, those people then will want to be near you, because they're like, wow, what is this good energy? Like they can feel it. They start to enjoy you. They start to love you as a person back. And that in itself really is the purpose of it all. It's just love. And disconnecting with those people, shutting yourself off to those people and treating them like they're below you, or they are unintelligent or don't have any understanding of anything in the world, is the exact opposite of what we're trying to achieve here. That's just all the ego's gained some knowledge about itself, and it might utilize that in a way that's then like, well, they don't know anything about this, and it can look down on those people. And trust me, I'm telling you, because I've been there. After I had my awakening, I found that there were times when I would look down on people around me who just had no idea, and if I had information that I wanted to spread about a certain topic that a lot of the world was quite blind on, and if other people around me didn't understand or agree with or were completely blindsided about what I was saying, I was just like, they don't get it, they're dumb, they have no idea, they're so oblivious, they're so ignorant. But it just comes back to what I was saying before. Those people, they don't know. They have been conditioned as you were, as you have been. I'm still working through my conditioning, and there are still people who have a more expanded consciousness than me. You know, there's always going to be people who are further ahead on their journey than you are, and it's truly just loving and accepting everyone for where they are at, because that is how we can help each other wake up. And really, when you ask yourself where the frustration arises when it comes to other people around you who aren't getting it, for me, that really just is to do with the trauma in me that maybe has a fear of being alone, and that loss of connection, because all we really want is to connect with each other. It's all about connection and how we can connect with ourselves and everything in the universe and one another. That is where our power literally resides, in our connection with others. And not having that connection is what has stemmed a lot of my frustration and anger, because all I want to be able to do is connect with those people and just love and share energy with one another and be one, essentially. I just wish that those people understood where I was coming from. But in order for them to understand where I'm coming from, I need to understand where they're coming from. Another thing that has really helped me is just trying to open up my throat chakra, my voice, and communicate. Just being like really open and honest in my communication is really helping me with the people that I meet in my life, even if it's just like passing strangers or like acquaintances, or like a customer that I'm serving at work, or even if it is someone that's like a close personal relationship. Just being very open and honest in that communication and not just going along with what the other person's saying. You're allowed to have a voice. I'm allowed to have a difference in opinion. Often I don't agree with a lot of the things that the people in my life will tell me now. And I didn't come from this stance before. I didn't come from a different place, and now I do. And now often I disagree with, there's a crow like literally right there that's just like, it's just really loud, but I'm just gonna keep talking. Often I came from like the same point of view as the person, like people in my life. That's why they're in my life, I feel, like friends and stuff. Like we share similar opinions and we vibrate at the same sort of rate and energy, which is why we were drawn to one another. And then suddenly you wake up and you're like, I don't agree with you anymore, and I didn't even agree with my previous self. And it's okay to share that opinion, and it's okay to tell the truth. And that's a very other important thing, is just, I know these are all important things apparently according to me, but don't hide your voice around those people, but don't argue with them. So don't be afraid to share your spiritual messages. Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to say things that you know are true within yourself, even if you know everyone around you is going to think you're crazy. Don't be afraid. This is who you are now. Embrace who you are around those people. That can be a real challenge, embracing your new self around those people, your newly awakened and conscious self, because you're not the same person you were, and you're not the person maybe they met you as. And it's okay to show that you've changed and that you're different, because those people will be curious about it and they'll want to know why, and you can then share that information with them. So just don't be condescending, don't bring negative energy with you when you're sharing these messages. Just be honest and just share them from a place of love. That is all we can do. And ultimately, if you really embody that, embody your true self, embody those love and conscious vibes and high energy vibes, it will in turn attract more conscious people to you in your life, and you'll just start to clear out those who don't understand, and maybe they'll come back to you when they're ready for your messages. I've often found that people will come back to me when they're ready to hear things that I have to say, or they're ready to talk to me about things that I want to talk about. So just love everyone in your life and show compassion for them. Understand where they're at on their journey. Just be incredibly compassionate, and when you can be compassionate with yourself is also when you can then be compassionate with other people. So show yourself love in those situations first, and in turn you'll be able to do the same for them. Thank you for listening. It is a joy to be able to spread my voice with you watching right here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.